Hey, my name's Larry. This is Your Own Adventure. Today we're going to be testing out latex inner tubes on the road bike, see if they make any difference, how they feel compared to regular rubber butyl inner tubes, and see if the ride characteristics are any different. So if you want to learn more, keep on watching.
And right behind us we have the Trek Amonda ALR. This is my main bike here, climbing bike in Florida, but I love the look of it, and it actually reminds me a lot of the Specialized Athos in a way. It's a very traditional looking frame, has a very nice colorway, it's very straightforward and minimal, and it's meant for climbing. It's one of the lightest aluminum frames in the market right now, and I could definitely agree with the fact that it feels light and nimble. But today we're talking about this here. This is the Vittoria Latex inner tube, and I have a set of them obviously, but we're going to be replacing the butyl inner tubes in the bike back there with these latex inner tubes to test them out. I've heard and read up that these latex inner tubes perform almost as well as a tubeless setup. It gives you the feeling of a tubeless setup without the hassle. I converted these over to tubeless just to see how much it would weigh, and it weighed a lot more than what it did just as a traditional rubber inner tube. So I just kept the rubber inner tubes in there and didn't have to deal with the hassle. But after that, I kind of wanted to try these latex ones out because it gives you the simplicity of a inner tube setup with the performance and characteristics of a tubeless setup. So we're going to try it out. I'm going to install them. I'm not going to show you too much of the installation, but I will show you what's in the box here. These things look like a whoopee cushion because they're, in my brief understanding of these, they are the same sort of material and composition as what you would see in a whoopee cushion, and they're a little bit more fragile. That's what I've heard. So installing them, you want to be a little bit more careful with them, and they lose air more than a regular butyl rubber tube. So every time you ride, you're going to have to top these up, which is okay with me because I do that anyways with my regular tubes. Not because they lose air, but that's just kind of, I like to know exactly where the pressure is before I'm riding. So not a big deal for me to have to check on these every ride. So let's get into installing it, and I'll actually weigh out this wheel and wheel set combination, and then I'll install this tube and see how much it weighs and how it feels on the road. Let's get into it.
All right, I'm not sure how well this microphone's going to be connected here, but this is the first ride on the latex tubes, and honestly it feels a lot different. I typically ride tubeless on my mountain bikes, and it feels pretty similar to what that feels like. Very snappy and responsive, I would say. And not only that, the road feel is definitely more plush. Like the little bumps definitely feel less impactful.
So many of you know this already because I've made a video about it, but I use this mini ratchet set from Toe Peak. It's a really cool little mini ratcheting set. It has all the bits up to 8 mil, I believe, and that's enough for me. And it's more efficient, I would say, in a lot of this small job sort of maintenance. And since it's such a small form factor, you're not dealing with a bunch of long Allen keys, and I use this inside for my maintenance. And Honestly, I'm gonna get a secondary set of this and try it on the trail and the road, just because of the overall functionality of it is so much better than your small multi-tool, and it weighs not that much comparatively. So luckily for me, I thought these through axles were like a 5 mil or 6 mil, but they're actually the Bontrager quick release style through axles, which I really like. So I put the tube in and we are at around 4.6 ounces. Yeah, 2.1 kilos. One of the issues that I had, and I had to actually go and find something for this, it was a big ordeal that I was not thinking about, was right there. You could see that the extension of that Presta valve is pretty high, but all the latex tubes that I could find are 40 mil Presta valve lengths, and these are clearly, these rims are 50 mil deep dish. So I had to go and find, on a Sunday, these little valve extenders. Overall, I actually don't know how much I saved in weight on this, because I don't remember exactly what the scale was telling me with the regular rubber butyl inner tubes, but more importantly is the ride characteristic. So I'm gonna do the front tire real quick and put this thing back on the bike, and then take it for a quick spin to see what it feels like with this new latex inner tube.
So for a pretty low cost, low hassle option, you get pretty similar to tubeless results. Now I can't quite say that they feel exactly like tubeless, because I haven't tested a full tubeless setup on the road, but comparing them to what a tubeless feels like on mountain bike, it definitely has that snappy responsiveness and less rolling resistance that you're used to with a tubeless setup. Not to mention, you don't have to deal with the rim tape, sealant, all the headaches that come with setting up a tubeless setup. Those are all not part of this. You do have to be a little bit delicate with installing the latex tubes, but other than that, I found it to be pretty straightforward, similar to regular rubber inner tube.